Hey guys, so I was on Twitter this morning and there was a debate between Bon Appetit magazine and Jose Andres, Chef Andres. And they were talking about this is the year to learn how to make scrambled eggs. Chef Andres said the only reason to make scrambled eggs is because you don't know how to make a proper omelet. So there's a couple things I disagree with. One is omelets are great, but you make them for one person at a time. If you're making eggs for 4 or 6 or 8 people, I think scrambled eggs are just great. And also in the recipe that Bon Appetit posted on their website, there's a couple things I disagree with there. So they talk about adding, a teaspoon of salt in with your eggs, whisking up the eggs before you put them in the pan, and I disagree with both of those things. So thought we'd spend a few minutes just talking about what we call cheesy eggs. So the first thing is that we always start with a nonstick pan. The second thing is Bon Appetit says, put the eggs into a bowl and mix those up. To be honest, the key with eggs is you're going to cook them low and slow for a long time. So they're going to get mixed up. You can do that step. It doesn't hurt anything, but you really don't have to. The other thing it talked about is adding salt. I recommend that you don't do that. We always add salt at the end to top off the dish. So we're going to have 2 eggs per person. One of the things that's a little bit of a pet peeve is you never crack the egg on the side of a bowl because the shell goes into it and you're more likely to get shell in your egg. So always crack your egg on a flat surface. We've got 2 eggs per person. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some butter to the pan. You'll notice I didn't add any oil or nonstick or spray into the pan. We're just going to put some butter into the pan. Make sure we take all the paper off. This is probably a good idea. We'll go ahead and add our eggs to the bowl. I haven't even started the heat yet, so it's all going to get mixed up. And then since we call these cheesy eggs, we're going to go ahead and add some cheese. A lot of cheese. If you like a lot of cheese, I like a lot of cheese. You can add, this is American cheese. 1 strip of American cheese for every 2 people is probably good. Again, you can chop these up if you want to, but they're all going to melt together anyways. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the heat on. And we're going to put it on as low as it can go. The key to this is kind of like making risotto. You're going to keep these eggs moving for about 20 minutes. It's going to look like nothing's happening for the first 10 minutes, but they're all coming up to temp. It's going to get a little bit white in the middle. So we'll come back in a minute when it gets to that point. All right, so we've been going about 5-6 minutes or so, and you can see we're just starting to get just a little bit of whiteness underneath the eggs. The butter is almost completely melted, and so from this point forward, we're really going to want to start moving things around. We can go ahead and break up the egg yolks. It's all going to get mixed in together. We can break up the cheese if you want, and we're just going to keep moving it around here until it's cooked. So we're a good 11-12 minutes in. And you can see it's starting to come together. We just keep pushing everything around, making sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. So as we continue on here, as you get closer to being done, it's cooking faster and faster. So you want to stay even closer to it as we move on. And it's up to you how wet you like your eggs. I like eggs a little bit wet, but we're not quite there yet. The other thing to keep in mind is they're going to keep cooking even after you take it, out of the pan and put it onto the plate. So finish it fairly wet and let it finish cooking, when you put it onto the plate. So these look pretty good to me. We'll go ahead and turn the heat off. We've got a plate over here that has bacon for everybody this morning, and I'm just going to add our eggs to it. Go ahead and put that back. Now, salt and pepper, I would add at the very end. We talked about that earlier. I like, a little bit of seasoning salt. I don't use Lowry seasoning salt very much, but it's kind of a tradition with these scrambled eggs that we do. And instead of salt and pepper, we're just going to put a little bit of this Lowry seasoning salt on top. The other thing that you might like is a little bit of paprika, if you don't have Lowry seasoning salt, to add a little bit of color. Enjoy.